Hey guys, it's Geography Lover here. Welcome back to another brand new video. And today we're looking at the history of Russia on mapchart.net. So let's get started. I'm using this Hearts of Iron map on MapChart instead of using the Russia map because I feel like it definitely shows that Russia, expanded and had other territories that weren't just in the actual modern day Russia and other territories. So Russia started out as a small little kingdom, originally as the Kievan Rus, which was originally settled by Slavs from the Vikings areas in Lapland and Finland and in Sweden. And then it pretty much kind of was left there. It didn't really get to become a big country until after the Mongols invaded in 1215 and took over much territory. But after that, it pretty much was a small territory of the Kingdom of Muscovy, centered in Moscow, modern-day capital. It became the Tsardom of Russia after Ivan the Terrible took over and became the first Tsar. And then there was a whole time of troubles. But after that, it pretty much centered around the Romanov dynasty. And eventually, Peter the Great, the first big Tsar, ended up expanding the territories to the east and conquering many territories and making all the way to this peninsula here in the east and Kamchatka and Magadan all the way in very eastern Russia, and ended up expanding the territory in the west as well, with some territories that were acquired after the collapse of the Polish-Lithuanian Commonwealth in 1795. It was divided between the Russian Empire, the Austrian Empire, and the Prussian Kingdom of Russia, but which eventually became the German Empire. But we're not there yet, as Russia was still kind of growing as a nation, but still was very poor. Many people were not rich and could not afford to work, so they had to be subjugated to many taxes and had to be subjected to many harsh treatments. So what ended up happening after this was it fought in the Napoleonic Wars. Russia fought against Napoleon. It ended up winning, but Napoleon did invade in 1812, but Napoleon lost at Waterloo in 1815, so they ended up acquiring Finland from Sweden when they turned against Sweden, but them and Sweden ended up reconciling, and they ended up just annexing the whole territory. After it annexed Finland, it pretty much was focused on maintaining social order and continuing the expansion to the south of the Uzbek Khanates here and into the Caucasus region. It pretty much stayed this way until World War I in 1914, when the Germans started to invade and took over a lot of western territories in Russia. I'm not going to highlight them, and I'm just going to go in this general area. And then by then, in 1917, the Russian Revolution took place, very famous. Vladimir Lenin and the communists took over and it became the Union of Soviet Socialist Republics on December 30th, 1922. So the USSR was formed 100 years ago from December 30th. So this territory in blue was given to the Germans, but eventually it was just they gained independence and tried to leave. But the Soviets won the civil war against the White Army, who was like the remnants of the Russian Republic, and they ended up becoming Union of Soviet Republics, and the White Army ended up losing that. So all the territory there was given to the Soviet Union, and they ended up acquiring North Sakhalin from the Japanese all the way back in 1904 with the Russo-Japanese War. But they ended up annexing that as well. So they stayed like this until World War II, when Nazi Germany started to invade, but they ended up losing that war. And the Soviets ended up winning with the United States and the United Kingdom. And they fully annexed the Baltic states during the war to prevent the Germans from getting there, but the Germans did try to take over, but they did not win that part. They never re-annexed Finland again, but they did have control over territories in the Eastern Europe, forming the Warsaw Pact against NATO, which was sponsored by the United States. They pretty much stayed that way until 1991, which the Soviet Union did dissolve and became the Russian Federation, which it still is today. Thank you guys for watching this video. Please like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video.